topic of conversation for so very long. If Aaliyah was still around, would Beyonce be who she is today? This mega superstar, internationally known, set to tour for the next 30 years with her husband, icon. And I'm here to tell you 5 reasons why I think that she would still be who she is today, even if Aaliyah was alive. Number 1, her dad. Mathew Knowles is a force to be reckoned with, and that needs to be acknowledged and talked about. Yes, we all hear about these great stage moms and stage dads, but Mathew Knowles is very similar to Joe Jackson, who was Michael Jackson's father. And let me tell you why he was destined to be who he is. First of all, he is college educated, went to Fisk University, and he's a member of Omega Psi Phi. But he began his career working at Xerox Corporation, and he worked there for 10 years in Houston. And there he was one of those top-selling, definitely paved his way. And here is where he was able to get his grit. Sales, especially medical sales, is definitely grit worthy. You have to make sure that you meet the doctors and their schedules, get them to like you, and you're talking about really, really big numbers as far as money moving. So when he was ready to leave his career and start Music World Entertainment, he already was a step above a lot of people. And so Mathew Knowles is the reason why the girls were really scandal-free up until they were of age. You know, they were protected, and unlike a lot of these parents who were putting their children in weird predicaments, he was very protective. So that's one. She had a daddy who was very present, who not only pushed her agenda of being great, but protected her from a lot of the pedophiles and predators that really harbor upon young women. The second reason is Destiny's Child. Destiny's Child, while Aaliyah was still around, was already making a name for itself. Destiny's Child was already, selling great with their first album, and even with the switching of the different bandmates, they were able to really make some waves. I know me personally, I had the Writings on the Wall album, and everyone that I knew had that album as well. I also had the Aaliyah album, so I don't want to put one in the other, but I'm just saying this is a situation where both albums were in my hands. An average black girl in the Chicagoland area back in that time. Now, Destiny's Child groomed Beyonce specifically. Let's not act like all the girls got the same singing time. It wasn't until the very last album that the other ones really started to have their own verses. And Girl is the only song that I remember that really didn't have as much Beyonce as everything else. So even when they were getting more equal with the singing time, it still was Beyonce. I mean, really, the way that this group was, it wasn't like it was 3 different group voices coming together and everybody gets their shine. It was more so like Diana Ross in her group, where she was the main singer and her group was the backup singers and backup dancers, but they just called themselves a group. Modern day, you would just have a solo artist with their backup dancers and their backup singers. There's really no difference except that they were definitely put to front when it came time for pictures and nobody knew their name, but she basically had a group but could rely on it if it didn't go well. But as much, I see no difference from what Beyonce does now with her tours, where she has backup dancers, she has backup singers and all that, versus her and Destiny's Child. Besides, like, there was just, at this point, 3, and we love them as a group because of nostalgia. Number 3 is her stage presence. There are very few people that have her stage presence. A lot of people want to argue that such and such sings better than Beyonce, but when it's time for people to compare her and her stage presence, her work ethic, her dancing, there are very few people that can really compare. A lot of times people are throwing out Michael Jackson, and it really stops and starts with that. I remember I have gone to 2 of Beyonce's concerts, and at one concert she flew, there's costume changes. Even at Coachella, she even changed her nail polish through one of those costume changes. Like, there is so much that goes into her with detail and really everything that other people just don't have, that stage performance and that work ethic. And that is something that would have shone through regardless of who is alive and who's not and who is the heavy hitters. She would have fought her way through because she had the family support, mom and dad supporting, mom doing her costume designs and everything. She had her group, so she had this practice of being this lead singer, of having this stage presence. She has her stage performance that is unlike anything else. And this leads to number 4. Number 4 is the entire Cardi B versus Nicki Minaj right now. Cardi B has climbed her way up, has fought her way up. And guess what, guys? Nobody died in the female rap genre, and she still made room. So this is just proof in the pudding that if you can get the fan base, because that's really the difference between Cardi and anybody else. I personally think that Cash Doll is going to be next. She probably would have already been in that level had she not signed that bad deal. But there's more people coming in the pipeline within this female rap genre, and no one has to die. Lil' Kim is still alive. Remy Ma is still here. There's so many people that are still here. People fade off and come back. Same thing with Beyonce and Aaliyah. I'm sure Beyonce has faded off from time to time to work on her marriage or to travel, to take some time off, to have babies. And I'm sure that Aaliyah or anyone else would have naturally done the same thing. Cardi B was able to kind of come through when that Bodak Yellow kind of really hit, and Nicki Minaj was also taking a break at that same time. And that's just normal. Lastly is her marriage. Who you marry directly affects every part of your life, and I don't think we discuss this enough. Her being married to Jay-Z and them being a powerful unit separately and together makes it so that they are so much more powerful together. Anytime that there is a party, they are the buzz. They are hosting their annual Grammy party. Jay-Z has stepped in, or them together, they've stepped in and built out different protesters. They've helped other people within the industry when they've needed help financially or legally. Like, they have just done so much together, and they are continuing. Like, they're nowhere near done yet. And had she not, or they not gone and been with anyone else really, or a non-supportive spouse or anything else, it just would have been different. And you can look at that from who the other people marry, right? Like Gucci and Keisha Kaur, they are a great unit, but they can't go on tour together. People don't want to pay to see her. She's a great hype man for Gucci, but together their unit is not in that way. I think that Travis and Kylie is another great couple that we're going to see do some major things because they're powerful separately, and then together they haven't even begun to start doing stuff. And that matters. So I'm going to wrap this up with the 5 ways that I think that Beyonce definitely still would have made her way regardless of if Aaliyah was still here or not. go ahead and leave the comments below and let me know how you feel. And don't forget to hit that subscribe button and hit that notification bell for the next video. Bye guys.